Hey, I'm Honor Janetsky from Awakened Motherhood, where we teach moms how to break free from anxiety and overwhelm and awaken to joy. Welcome to the channel. So let's talk about the idea of fun in motherhood. And yes, it is entirely possible. If you're not having fun as a mom, then you're probably feeling like a lot of women who reach out to me for help who say, what's the point? I'm not enjoying my children. I'm not enjoying any downtime or playtime. I'm so wound up and irritable and anxious that I don't even know where to begin in terms of winding down. So let's break this down. And I'm going to paint a picture of a spiral for you that a lot of women are falling into, and see if you can identify if any of this is going on for you, and is anything to do with why you are unable to break out of anxiety or calm down and relax into your body so that you can enjoy motherhood. Because otherwise, what's the point, right? we want to enjoy our kids. We want to enjoy ourselves. We want to enjoy this life and our freedoms that we create for ourselves. However, if anxiety is here, there's a likelihood that fun is off limits for you, like it is for a lot of my clients when they first reach out to me. So first, I wanted to start with the function of anxiety. And let's start with just taking a look at the function of anxiety. Really is to let you know that you are outside of your comfort zone, that something feels beyond what you know how to handle, beyond what you know how to control, and you are feeling wobbly. You're feeling uneasy. So what happens in a physical sense often is constriction, in emotional sense, shutting down, in a mental sense, amping up. So this is true for most of the clients who we serve in Awakened Motherhood. And how does it look? I'll talk about fun in a second, but let's just kind of detail, take a little bit of a detailed look of how does that anxiety show up. So for most of the women who we help who are pretty trapped in anxiety, high stress, and have tried a lot of things. They've tried talk therapy, they're meditating, they have tried journaling, they've read a bunch of books, they've tried CBT, DBT, EMDR, all the things. And still they are trapped inside their bodies, feeling out of control, not able to handle stressors when they come, and kind of essentially walking on eggshells through life. So not getting to relax, have fun, enjoy, roll around on the floor with their kids and what have you. And so they're overwhelmed. And a great way to kind of think about this is what happens for you when your kid says, Mom, will you play with me? Or if you have older kids, it's a teen maybe who says, they want to talk to you about something. Or your partner gets playful with you and you think, just stop it. I don't have the energy for that. I can't do that right now. So usually how it sounds is, I can't do that right now. I'm too tired. I'm too exhausted. I'm too busy. I have too many other things to do. So we hide behind our task list. We hide behind our to-do list. The brain will be overactive in finding a lot of excuses in why you can't slow down, why you can't play, why you can't become available for fun. What's really going on there, though, if we peel that back, is a sense of one of a few things. One, I don't know how. I don't know how to do that. I'm not comfortable playing. So I feel anxious. I feel distracted. I'm overanalyzing everything. I'm irritable. I can't relax. Okay, that happens. Another feeling is I don't feel calm. I can't settle in my body. So if a kiddo asks you to play with her and do some imaginary play. And you may feel like, oh, I stink at, imaginary games. I can't do that. I'm too serious, or I'm too structured, or I don't know how to let play happen. I have to call all the shots and direct everything, because that's how I get results in my life, and that's how I slay at my job. I don't know how to just like chill out and be a kid. And if you've got your inner child on lockdown, then one thing to really notice is that there's probably some anxiety going on in there. There's either a fear of things getting out of control, which is probably the biggest thing that we see with our clients. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose control of myself, or lose the plot here, or the play's going to spin out of control. Kids' behavior will kids will get riled up, and then I won't know what to do to bring it back down. So I'm afraid. There's fear of getting out of control. Another thing is, I'm just so awkward and uncomfortable like this. That's the kind of, I don't know how. I'm awkward, I'm uncomfortable. I don't really know how to engage in imaginary play or build things, or, I like to play, but I don't make messes. So we can't do any art. Or I can just do Play-Doh, but we can't mix the colors. So if this is ringing any bells for you, there's probably some anxiety going on there. There's some feeling of discomfort, or feeling even unsafe. And so when we peel that back, what's going on with feeling unsafe is, I'm out of my comfort zone. I don't know what to do. I don't trust myself to know how to engage, connect, and then how to come back to me, or bring my child or kids back down to a level where we can transition to the next thing, right? Okay, so it shows up as feeling restless. It shows up as feeling irritable, distracted, annoyed, overthinking, and all that gets communicated to our kids, all of this gets communicated to them as, you might be saying, I can't right now, or I'll play with you for 2 minutes, but then I've got to get back to what I'm doing. And if the emotion that you're bringing to the table then is intensity, is stress, is restlessness, something like that, what a child experiences or hears, and nobody wants to think about this, is that they're not. There's not space there for them. There's not space there for them. They don't get our attention in the way that they want. They don't get our validation in the way that they need. And so what's interesting is, if we really just look at this from big picture, often there's a pattern there that's getting repeated from our own childhood. So there's a piece of, nobody made space for me, or reflected to me, or supported my needs or my emotions. And so now when my child asks that of me, I am really uncomfortable. And this is a very common pattern that we see with a lot of our Awakened Motherhood clients, where it's simply that you did not have the experience. No one did it for you. There was no modeling of how to play, have fun, get messy, and then clean it all up and bring it back together. And so you kind of are afraid of losing yourself in this experience. It's something that you haven't really learned before. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about having fun today and getting playful is because most people don't realize that you can't have fun and really enjoy play if you have anxiety in the way, if you're overwhelmed. That in order to have fun, you have to actually figure out first how to get in your body, how to relax, and how to feel connected to you and to your calm. So I hope this makes sense. I'm going to break that down a little bit more. So if I have, let's say I have a mental loop running about all the things that I have to do, and and I have very high expectations of myself, and I'm an overachiever, let's say. And I know that I've got to do everything just so, because when things are done just the way I love for them to be done, then I feel calmer. Then I feel in control. Then if I can control my environment and my kids' behavior and the schedule and all these things, then at that point, I know that I can also control the way that I feel. So this is an instance of controlling external conditions in order to control my internal climate of how I feel. Now, if I try to go and play unstructured play with my kiddos, and let's say they get excited and they get wild, and it's spinning out of my idea of what I was willing to do, and I'm starting to feel out of control, what's going to happen if I'm not first connected to me is my anxiety is going to spike up through the roof. And then what's going to happen is building irritation. I'm going to escalate. I'm going to probably not know how to respond to corral my kids. So I'm just going to kind of try and then explode. And that's going to get them to listen. And through fear, I'm going to control them, and they're going to calm down, or the game's going to end badly. And if you've ever walked through that experience, you know that on the other side of it, there's so much sadness, there is so much regret, and often a lot of times there's guilt too. So I feel sad or guilty that I'm not able to really, I just don't know how to help my kids to organize and to reconnect after we get a little wild in play. Or I don't know how to bring myself into a place of allowing and tolerating a little bit of chaos or a little bit of noise or a mess, knowing that we can all clean it up together, because they never clean up and they always leave it for me and I always do it and I sacrifice everything. So I'm not going to play because I'm going to have to clean it all up. That martyr complex, right? So I want to shift now and say, that the cost is very high of living in this place with your kids. Not only do you not get to have fun and not enjoy life, but they miss out on connecting with you, their mom. They miss out on getting to know what's fantastic about you and having you reflect to them what's fantastic about them. And when you play and laugh with your kids and get giggly and silly and kind of let go, but you got to break out of anxiety to be able to do that, there's a whole realm of relationship that can grow and that enriches through your communication, through your bond, through your trust that grows between you. And we're seeing a lot of kids these days who are hitting the tween years. They're isolating, they're getting depressed, they're withdrawing, they're shutting down emotionally. And if you're seeing that, it is concerning, it is worrisome. And for a lot of the moms who we work with, they can sense that the connection and trust, the foundation that they would need at that stage, hasn't been developed yet. And so that's what we get to work on developing. So you want to, if that's the case, if you feel like you're losing your kids or you're afraid you're losing your kids, that is a time to really send up a flare and to look for help. Because if you continue on that path, teens don't get more vulnerable or more squishy in terms of being more open to tell you what's going on. They get less. They turn to people outside the family for that connection and that influence. And trust me, you want to be the influence in your teens' lives for as long as you can have that. So let's go back to the fear of losing control. So the fear of losing control is again, fear. It's anxiety, but it's rooted in fear. So a lot of people don't think about their anxiety as being fear-based living, but it is. Overwhelm is also often feels like it's rooted in anger, rooted in frustration. If we drill down beneath that, there's always something juicy under there. There's grief, there's sadness, there's isolation, there's loneliness, there's feeling unsupported. Lots and lots of things are underneath, sort of not feeling able to let go and enjoy play, getting playful or getting silly. But the fear of losing control is really about a few things. So one, I don't know what's on the other side of that door. If I were to totally let go, And a lot of women who reach out to me for help will say, like, I can't, things get too nutty and then I'm really triggered. So I work with a lot of highly sensitive moms who are very noise sensitive, who don't deal with chaos well, who don't know how to keep their energy grounded and stable when their kids get wonky. And those are all fixable things. Those are all fixable things. It's pretty easy for me to teach somebody how to support their kids in managing their own energy, and how to teach a mom to be in charge of her own energy and her own presence and power from the here and now, so that things don't get out of hand. Or if you choose to allow them to get out of hand, you can bring it right back, because kids are little raw beings. They need our help. They need our guidance. They need our support to be able to do that. It's unfair to expect children to be able to self-manage their emotions, especially 8 and under, when it comes to like getting wild and crazy or getting playful and having fun. They're going to need our support to bring themselves back to into their own control. And sometimes they won't take some kids longer than others to get there. So we need to have a plan to know what to do during that time. And one of the biggest fears that comes up for a lot of moms is they just really realize that they don't trust themselves to know what to do. So let's look at that for a moment. If you don't trust yourself to be able to handle the hard moments, if you feel scared when things are spinning out of your control or away from your plan, then just check in with yourself and notice, is there constriction in your body? What are you afraid of? Are you feeling unsafe? Are you feeling unsettled? How far outside your comfort zone are you? And try to get some more information, because information is so helpful, about what's going on inside of you that is blocking you from being able to get into having fun and getting playful. I'll give you an example of a client, and I certainly have had many clients who've been in this place, but one leaps to mind, who had a mom of 4 kids, who is a very hard worker, who is used to things going her way, used to being successful and being a big achiever, and left her big career to stay home after having multiple children. Felt like that was the right shift for her. And only to get home and realize, oh my gosh, that things feel really out of control. And when she relied on that old coping skill of handling everything herself, just handling it, not asking for help, but just taking everything on herself to keep the house in order, to keep the kids taken care of, to listen to all their emotional needs, to support them in the best way she could, and to then be available for her partner. When he came home from work, what happened was that piled higher and higher on her until she really hit a tipping point of overwhelm. And this, we can kind of get away with this for the first year of a kid's life when you have your first child, or if you have an only child, that it's okay to really go deep into sacrifice for very short periods of time. But what happens when you're somebody who likes to be in control and you have your hand on all these different knobs and dials, and things get more complex and kids start to grow, and you lose that connection with your partner because you're so tunnel vision trying to control all the pieces at home, because you can't, if one piece spins out of control, oh my gosh, I don't have enough bandwidth to pull it back together. Do you know what I mean? And what we then see is that children who have mothers that do that for them, that take care of all the pieces, that sort of hold things that even past the point when a child could be doing it for themselves. When children grow up in a family like that, where mom holds everything, all the details, knows everything, controls everything, there's a part that you might not expect that happens there, which is children become, how shall I say this? They begin they don't have an opportunity to develop confidence in themselves as capable humans. I see it all the time with my clients. Big achievers, moms who are used to making stuff happen, and they want to raise perfect children, and they want to do it perfectly, and they want their kids to be always well behaved and to look great. And here's the deal: when you are focused on creating all of that and managing all of that, you disable your kids from being able to step up into their own capabilities. And this exact same thing happens in partnerships. So when we see women holding everything and not handing things to the partner because he doesn't do it right or she doesn't do it right, or it's not the way I want it done, it's easier to do it myself. Is it really easier to do it yourself? This is a big cause of anxiety, and it's an even bigger cause of divorce. And I speak to women all the time, every week, who will come and say, I'm on the verge of divorce. I've already decided that's the only thing I can think that would make this better, because we're already so far down the line of me having established that he's really not that helpful to me. I don't like the way he does things, and I'm just mad about it and resentful that he isn't stepping up. I'm resentful that I've created this and now I don't know how to turn it around. So living in fear, frustration, anxiety versus living in trust. And so one thing I want to say is it is never too late. It's never too late to create authentic connection with your children through play, through fun, through honest conversations. And it's never too late to create new energy in your relationship, in whatever form that is, whether you're married, whether you're partnered, whether you are co-parenting. It is never too late to regenerate and restore an honest, healthy connection, to invoke more support for yourself and for your children, and to see your children rising to the occasion of becoming capable humans. So I want to inspire you about that today, that if you are stuck in not knowing how to have fun, so feeling anxious, feeling wound up, not knowing how to relax, living from that fear place, that unsafe or shaky place, and you're looking out ahead and thinking, is it even possible to have fun? Is it even something that I could ever achieve? It is very much an achievable thing when you have the right structures and formulas and support. It is a game of strategy in many cases to be able to be a mom who is confident and strong in her presence and can trust herself to call the shots for her kids, and can guide her children to become really resilient, self-responsible, growing people. All of that is completely possible. So if you are wanting to have more fun, really just hear me say that it's entirely possible to open up to a new aspect of you and of your personality, and to learn to kind of unwind some of that seriousness and show up for the fun of life, the spontaneity, the silliness, and the goofiness, and create all kinds of new connections with your kids and your family. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you would like to subscribe, be sure to hit that button below. And if you want to book a clarity call with me, which you absolutely should do, then click my calendar link below, or go to www.honorjanetsky.com/call to book your appointment now. See you next time.